Okay, 7th grade, I just posted a Chapter 3 study guide help to Google Classroom. The Google document looks like this. There are some helpful hints for numbers 1 through 10, so I would encourage you to go look at that on Google Classroom. Okay, number 1 says, what is the product of negative 1.82 and 4.15? Anytime you see the word product, you should think multiplication. That's what the product is, the answer to a multiplication problem. Okay, so when I'm multiplying decimals, I ignore the decimals. I don't have to line them up. So I set it up like this and I multiply. After I'm done multiplying, I need to place my decimal. Remember, I place my decimal based on how many digits I have after decimal points. I have 1, 2, 3, 4 digits after the decimal. So after I multiply these numbers together, I'll move my decimal 4 places to the left. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's where my decimal goes. Okay. The last thing to check is your sign. I have negative 1.82 and positive 4.15. My signs are different, so I know my answer will be negative. Number 2, you are asked what fraction of a mile they walk in total. This means you'll need to add up their distances. Okay, so 2/6 and 1/3. That gives me the total amount they walked. As you can see, those fractions have different denominators, so I'm going to need to find the least common multiple between 3 and 6 and then add them together. Once I add those together, I need to simplify the fraction. Number 3, what is 5 3/8 as a decimal? I know that this is going to be 5 point something as a decimal, so all I need to figure out is what is 3/8 as a decimal. I need to divide 3 by 8. 3 by 8. That will give me what 3/8 is equal to as a decimal. Remember here, since 3 is bigger than 8, I need to add zeros after the decimal so that I can divide. After you divide this, you'll take whatever this is and put it right here so that your answer is 5 point something. Number 4, we're told that she cleans 1/4 of her room on Thursday and 3/5 of her room on Friday. So you need to add those fractions together to figure out how much of her room she has already cleaned. So 1/4 plus 3/5. As you can see, they have different denominators. So again, I'm going to need to find the least common multiple between 4 and 5 so that I can add those fractions together. Once you find how much of her room she's already cleaned, think to yourself, okay, how much of her room does she have left to clean? Whatever this is, I'm going to think to myself, how can I get to 1 so that she's cleaned 1 whole room? And number 5, to find the cost to the nearest cent, you'll need to take how much it costs, 519, and divide that by the number of ounces, 16.8. Now, since it asks you to find the answer to the nearest cent, you'll need to find 3 decimal places when dividing, and then round to the nearest hundredth, and that will give you the nearest cent. And number 6, just remember here that deposit means money is added to your account, and withdrew or withdrawal means money is taken out of your account. So here you're just simply adding and subtracting decimals. Your answer, of course, should be in dollars since you're talking about money. And number 7, the chopped down tree is 11 1/4 feet, and you want to divide that into 1 1/8 foot logs. So to find how many logs you can do that with, you take 11 1/4 and divide it by 1 1/8. Remember, change these to mixed numbers first. I change them to mixed numbers and then divide. Okay. Now, when I'm dividing, if I divide fractions, I keep, flip, change. Right? Keep, flip, change. KFC is only for dividing fractions. It is not for multiplying. It's only for dividing fractions. That's when you keep, flip, change. And number 8, Samara bought the computer for 2/3 of the original price. So 2/3 of the original price. Anytime you see the word of, you should think multiplication. And so you're asked, how much did she pay? So you need to multiply these. 2/3 of 900. 2/3 of 900 will give you the amount of money that she paid for the computer. And number 9, to find the average decrease in profits per day, you take the total decrease, and divide that by the number of days you have. And that will give you how much the profit decreased each day. And number 10, Caden drove 45 miles in 0.75 hours. So you take, to find the average rate, you take the miles and divide that by the number of hours, and that will give you how many miles per hour Caden was driving. Hope this helps. We'll discuss it tomorrow in class.